Hi, I will do today the reverse engineering of this amplifier. There are two identical boards, one for the Y amplifier and one for the X amplifier. So the amplifier uses this power op-amp and a few passive parts and one or two diodes here. Two diodes. I will start to draw the power op-amp. So this is the top view. The output of the op-amp actually is the case of this device. Symbol of this op-amp. So pin 4 is not connected. It is connected internally for some purpose, but it's not connected. Okay. And now we draw the other components on the board. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 resistors. Okay, so we have one capacitor here, and we have two diodes. And here we have a power resistor here. And here we have the filtering capacitor. And here we have a terminal. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terminals here. They are numbered, it seems. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here it seems this is 0 volt. Here it's written 0V. So this should be the ground. So what we need actually to do the reverse is a pen, a pencil, and an eraser, and a fast continuity tester. So we need something which reacts very fast. Okay, it is important if you need, for example, to find a connection with this kind of connector. For example, if you are looking for a ground, so you can do something like that. Okay, so it is important to hear the sound. Otherwise, if you need to wait 1 second for each terminal, so here you can check easily the connections to the ground. So now this should be the ground. It's 0 volt, which is written here. So I will check if it is really the ground. Okay, so this should be the ground effectively. So it is important first, in order to save time and to have a clear schematics, to find the ground and the power supply, to avoid too many wires on the schematics. So it is important to identify all the ground first. So maybe there is also a part inside this kind of silicone here, I don't know. You check the other board. Ah, it is a resistor, okay. Actually, yeah, this is this board I wanted to reverse, I have removed. So this is a resistor. So we can check for the other resistor if we find a ground. So here is the ground. You cannot see the diameter, but we have 100 milliohms. So this point is a ground. So we can check for the power supplies. Obviously, these capacitors are connected to the power supplies, because anyway we have performed all the tests using power supply connected to these capacitors. But we can check the corresponding terminals on this connector. It's not a connector, but on all these points here. So we start with the negative power supply. Okay, it is just this one. Now I will do the same for the positive power supply, which is just this one. There is maybe another ground, but I'm not sure. Yes, for example, this one seems to be also a ground. So we can see normally we should have the output for the coil. So this is obviously these two wires here, these two black wires. And we can see that we have also other wire, one for each terminal, which are soldered. So I don't know the purpose of this external connection to to the deviation coils. So maybe the diode are connected to the power supply. This one to the negative, this one to the positive. Okay, they are connected together and probably to the output. Okay, now we have here the flat flex which goes to the op-amp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terminals. Okay, so now we'll find the connection with the op-amp. Okay, so I made a mistake. Actually, the pin 1 is on the bottom here. Okay, so we can see that so the number 3 should be connected to the case. Now you have 2 ohms. And there is maybe a current feedback. The deflection is proportional to the current flowing into the coil. So to avoid a change of sensitivity depending on the temperature of the coil, it's better to drive the coil with a constant current. So probably there is a current feedback in this op-amp here. So there is probably, or maybe it is this resistor, the feedback resistor. Yes, it is 2 ohms. So we have, it should be connected to the ground. The other, yes, it's, so the resistance is not, yes, 100, so this is connected to the ground. And the second one should be connected to the coil here. Okay, and this should be the feedback of the op-amp. Now we rearrange the schematics in another page. So you have a protection to avoid over voltage at the output here. Okay, I think I didn't forget anything. Just have the decoupling capacitors. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 resistors plus this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One is missing, it seems. 100 ohms is missing. So the resistor which goes to the output, to the shunt. Between the shunt and the output we have 100 ohms here. Okay, and here we have the deflection coil of the CRT. So the current which flows into the deflection coil flows also through this resistor here. So the current is defined more or less from this voltage to the ground here. Okay, so the voltage at this point will define this voltage. If this terminal is open circuit, if it is not connected to anything, the voltage at this point will appear to this voltage. As there is no current, this will define the current. So the input voltage here from the ground is the same voltage across this resistor. So if you have 1 volt, for example, you will have 0.5 amp. Okay, so we can see in this CRT where goes this terminals here. So for example, the terminal number 6 here. This should be connected to something here. Okay, and this one is connected to the DAC. This is pin number 4 of the DAC. So pin number 4 is probably a current output, and this DAC generally, this one in any case has an output current, not a voltage. We have two complementary currents. Okay, so we can see here that pin number 4 is a sink current, pin number 2 also, but these two currents are complementary. The sum of these two currents gives a constant current. So pin number 4 and pin number 2. So we have a current here, which is provided by the DAC actually. And you can see it's pin number 5. It's not connected also to another current, but through a resistor. Okay, so the second is pin number 2. And the second one is out complementary. But of course it is impossible to have a current here. A resistor should be connected somewhere. Okay, I will check this thing. Okay, because I have a resistance of 1K between this point and the ground, so I don't understand. 1K 15 actually. Okay, it seems that we have this resistor. This resistor has a value 1.5K. So okay, so we have here a resistor in the digital board. Translate this current into voltage, and the other one is just a current. Okay, so we can do some math. So we can suppose this resistor, let's call this resistor R1. This one will be R2. This is R3. Okay, so we have I out plus the complementary of I out equal constant. Let's call I0. So what's this point here? Let's call VA. We have VA. This current here, let's call IS, equal R3 multiplied by IS plus this current here. And this current is this current minus I out. Okay, so we can define the voltage at this point from this voltage. Okay, so here we have the same current here, I out, and here we have a voltage VB. So this voltage is identical to this one. Okay, so this one is so we have R1 multiplied by I out complementary equals this voltage, which is VA plus this one. I made a mistake regarding the sign of this voltage. Okay, so we have V1 equals obviously minus I out bar multiplied by this resistor I called R. Now the voltage V2 here is equal to this voltage VA plus the voltage across this resistor, which is the same, R. Okay, so this voltage is minus. So we change the sign here. Minus R multiplied by I out. Okay, and this is the same voltage than V1. Now VA equals this resistor R3 multiplied by this current IS plus this current, which is minus I out. Okay. So we have also I out bar is equal to I0 minus I out. Okay. Okay, in the data sheet, it is common in DAC with output currents. You have always two complementary currents. The sum of these two currents, I0 plus I0 bar, so the sum of two currents is constant, is identical to IFR, and IFR is this current which flows here. It's a reference current, okay, which depends on the voltage, which is at this point, and the resistor, the reference resistor here. Okay, and you multiply this by a factor which is close to 1. Okay, so this is the full scale current. I call this current I0 in my calculation here. So we can replace this in the first equation for V1. Okay, so this implies that V1 equals minus I0 minus I out multiplied by R. So this is R multiplied by I out minus I0. Okay. So we have R3 multiplied by IS minus I out minus R I out equals R multiplied by I out minus I0. So we can extract IS, which will depend on I out and I0. So we have IS minus I out equals R multiplied by I out minus I0 plus another I out here divided by R3. Okay, and you add plus I out here. You remove this one. Okay, so IS is equal to R divided by R3 multiplied by 2 I out minus I0 plus I out. So let's see this equation with particular cases. For example, when I out equals 0, it is the minimum current. So this current is achieved when we have 0 DAC input, 0 binary voltage in the 8-bit data here. So in this case we have IS equals, so this will be 0, so we have a minus I0 multiplied by R divided by R3 plus I out. Okay, so this is the first case, and the second case is when I out equals I0, so this is the maximum current. This is the case when you have 255 input here. So in this case we have 2 I0 minus I0, so this will be I0. So this will give IS equal I0 multiplied by R divided by R3 plus I out. So we can see that we have a current gain which is R divided by R3. So R is a value of 1.65K, and R3, the shunt resistor is 2 ohms, so the current gain is 1650 divided by 2, so this will be 825. You can draw a graph here with in x-axis it gives the combination, the input data of the DAC equal n from 0 to 255. Okay, and we can draw here the current IS, which is the current which flows into the coil. Minus this current, but it doesn't matter. So we have something like that. We have something proportional. With here a current which will be I0 multiplied by R divided by R3. So we have here something which will be close to I0 multiplied by R divided by R3, and here we have something which will be minus I0 multiplied by R divided by R3. Okay, so depending on the value of the DAC here, from 0 to 255, you have an output current which varies from minus this value to plus this value. So if we take a look on the data sheet, if we know the reference voltage on the board and this resistor, it is possible to calculate the current I0 here. In this case, we can calculate this current here, the maximum current. So let's take a look on the board. We can do something. We can see that we have a resistor here, which is close to each DAC. So this resistor is probably this one here. So let's take a look. Okay, so this resistor here is connected to pin 14. So effectively this resistor is probably used to set the reference current. And the value of this resistor is difficult to read, they are very small. It seems to be 47 kilo ohms or 4.7. I will try a measurement of this resistor. I measure 4.7 kilo ohms. And we can see that we have a Zener diode here. So this is probably the voltage reference. So we can check if this resistor is connected to this diode. Okay, it is the case. So the reference current is given by the voltage of this Zener diode divided by this resistor. And I don't know if we can see the value of this Zener diode. It is 8.2 volt. So we have here this diode. Okay, we can see that we have 8.2 volts and this resistor is 4.7K. So the reference current of the DAC, so we have I0 equals 8.2 divided by 4.7K. Okay, so let me see the calculation. 1.75 milliamp. Okay, so we can calculate the maximum current here, I max and minus I max here. So I max equals this current. Actually this current is little bit higher because we need to multiply by 255 divided by a little bit lower, sorry, multiplied by this factor, which is a little bit below 1. Okay, but it is more or less identical with 0.5% tolerance, it doesn't matter. So the maximum current is 1.75 milliamp multiplied by this factor, which is a gain of 885. And this will be close to a little bit more than 1 amp, maybe 1.5 amp or something like that. Multiplied by 125, this means 1.45 amp. Okay, so the current which flows into the deviation coils will be plus or minus 1.44 amps, so close to 1.5 amps or something like that. So this will be 1.5 amp and minus 1.5 amp. Okay, so we need a power supply with enough current because we have two coils, one for the horizontal and one for the vertical. So we need a power supply with at least 3 or 4 amp. So this was a study of one of the amplifier. So I think that the second one is totally identical. So thank you for watching and see you next time for the last board. Bye bye.